Hey everybody, this is Sean from HZad Education. This video is going to teach you everything you need to know about the PTE Core exam, all four modules in detail with all the tips and tricks. Now, a problem is right now there's no mock tests available for the PTE Core exam. So what you can do is check out the course in the description. HZad Education right now has the most amount of mock tests and a complete course on PTE Core that'll get you ready and prepare for the real exam-like environment with the real exam-like difficulty. And with our 5-star reviews on the product, you are getting the most quality PTE Core course online available right now. Check it out. Now, let's move on to the lesson. The PTE Core test is broken into 3 parts. The first part is speaking and writing. Then you get reading, then you get listening. So speaking and writing are combined, but it's like speaking first, then writing, but they just call it part 1. Okay, so let's have a look at the number of questions. And again, this is the sample file that you can download from the PTE Core official website. You will get a zip folder and you'll get this, but I'm just showing it to you here so you don't have to really download that. The issue is, and again, this is why I said that the samples or the mock tests are so limited, even this folder, this file, does not have the complete test. For example, you see this read aloud. I'm going to talk to you about what this is about. You see question 1 here, and then you see question 2. Then you have the next task. However, this read aloud section actually has, in the real exam, 6 to 7 questions. Then the repeat sentence, which is the next task, is 10 to 12 questions, and so on. So even this file doesn't show you everything, and that's why you want to use HZad Education's mock tests. Link is in the description for that course, okay? But for now, let's talk about the subjects, the sections that are included, what you need to do, what the AI is going to be marking you on, because you don't have a real examiner here, and AI is going to be marking all 4 modules. So what is that AI looking for and how you're going to get a CLB 9+. The first part is read aloud. Now in this part, it's very simple. What you get is a little paragraph, and all you got to do is read that aloud. Looks simple, right? You just have to read it like, okay, join our book club and enjoy. A few problems. One is you have to finish it within a time limit in 40 seconds, so you cannot just speak too slow. The other problem is you have the commas and exclamation marks and full stops. Whenever you have those, you have to pause every time. When you do these pauses, it becomes longer, but it is required for the AI to recognize how you're speaking. If you guys have ever typed messages with your voice with speech-to-text software, you know how hard it is. You know, AI does not detect every word, which is why in speaking, remember this, not only for this part, but for all the parts, it is very important you speak very, very, very clearly, fluently, with pauses. Don't speak too fast, but also don't speak too slow. It should be able to recognize every word. That is why in the speaking section, you see the the marking scheme always telling you it should be native-like, native-like. That does not mean you need an accent, you need a native accent. That is not a requirement at all, but you need to be extremely clear because the AI has to recognize you. So a good way to test yourself is check your phone, use the speech-to-text in the messages. If it is detecting your words properly, that means you're doing a good job. So that's one way to practice. So you want to pause with the full stops, exclamation marks, commas. You also want to emphasize. Emphasis in speaking, it has lots of marks in PTE Core. So it's not just going to be join our book club and enjoy a world. No, it's going to be join our book club and enjoy a world of great literature. So emphasize words like great. Whenever you see adjectives, use the emphasis. Okay, so you get about 5 to 7 questions for read aloud. Then the most amount of questions are for repeat sentence, which is 10 plus questions. So here you're going to be getting 1 sentence, and audio will be played. Remember, this is the speaking section, but an audio is going to be played. So you have to listen to that audio and then repeat after that. The sentence they're going to play is very short. It's just going to be like, it's cold outside, we need to wear winter jackets. So you then have to repeat, it's cold outside, we need to wear winter jackets. Again, it looks easy, but you have to be very clear, enunciate, pronounce it properly. Then we get something like this, which is very similar to CLB. You have to describe what's happening in the picture. Now you get only 25 seconds of preparation, which is short. You only get 40 seconds of speaking, which is also short. So again, compared to CLB, you have very less time here to say stuff. And again, this whole test is 2 hours long, PTE Core. which means all these sections are made very short, and a struggle for most of you will be how to summarize information. So you want to start the process with words like to begin with, or to kick things off, or to start the process. Don't use basic words like today I would like to talk about, because you don't have that much time and you don't want to be basic. You want to be unique and use advanced complex words. You start with that, you define the process. During the process, you use words like furthermore, likewise, also, moreover. Use good connectors. At the end, don't do something basic like to conclude. It is, again, common. You still have marks for a vocab, for advanced structures, for a lexical resource. So use words like the process finishes off with, or so that's a phrase, by the way, or use a word like conclusively, because that is an adverb instead of something basic like to conclude. It'll also show the examiner, or the AI in this case, your range of vocabulary. Next, you will get another picture, then you will get another picture. You have about 3 here, and again, use the same techniques. Use good connectors to link the different things and also show your structure. All right, next you're going to get respond to a situation. This is where templates are useless. This is where, even in our course, we have mentioned that there's templates for all parts, by the way, in our course. Not for this one, because it's always going to be a different situation. So if you check this out, it says you have 40 seconds to answer the question. And again, in speaking, no task is more than 40 seconds. It says you own a flat that you have rented out to 4 university students. You are there to check everything's okay. You notice that the flat is very dirty and messy, and the carpet is damaged. You're extremely unhappy about this and want to remind the students of their responsibilities. What would you say to the students? So here, of course, if I'm doing this answer, I'm going to start with, hey guys, look, we got to address the situation of the apartment. I walked in, wasn't expecting what happened, and when I saw this was the situation. Explain the situation, then use connectors again. Moreover, also, remember to mix up the connectors. So sometimes it is the one-worded connectors, furthermore, moreover, right? Next time you would use in the next sentence, moving on to, as well as, what's more. Use a variety of those so you keep throwing the AI lexical resource, which is a big one on your marking scheme. And then finish off. In this case, finish would be, I'm looking forward to what you guys can do to compensate for everything. Or, I'm going to kick you guys out, but again, you would say it politely. So unfortunately, because of what I have seen, I have made the decision to get new tenants because I don't think we are a good fit in this case. Okay, so make sure your tone has emphasis, you're not robotic. Make sure it's appropriate to the situation. There are marks for appropriacy here in responding to a situation, because when you're talking informally, if you use formal words like I'm looking forward to, you lose marks. If you're talking formally and you say, hey, what's up, boss? You lose marks. So make sure it's appropriate to the situation. In this case, this would be a formal question. And you get a few questions here with the respond to a situation. After that, you are given an answer the short question thing. This is a little weird, okay? You will hear a question like, give a one-word answer or a few words of answer to this question. You'll hear a prompt. It will say, what do you wear in the winters on your head? The answer is toque or beanie, right? So you have multiple answers that the AI can choose from, but it's just that. It's a simple answer. In some cases, it's different because you can make a new judgment, right? Like, what do you take to reduce fever? That might be a question. And you might think scientifically, okay, tablets, or you would say syrups, right? But maybe the AI has other options: natural ingredients, rest, sleep. So there is a very thin line on what is right and wrong, and it's your opinion versus what the test makers decided. But generally, you want to answer what is most commonly going to be the answer. Don't try to be creative. I mean, for that question, I'm just going to say medicine or tablet. I wouldn't say you should take vitamin D, okay? Because if you're trying to be creative, they are not. They're trying to just get the most common generic answer. So in this case, you would answer with one word or a few words. Make sure they're clear, and it's like almost a general knowledge test, but it's just one or a few words, which is kind of weird. I really find this part weird. Haven't seen this in other tests, but that's going to be your last part of speaking before you jump into writing, okay? So remember, in speaking, before we go here, Enunciate, pronunciation matters, clarity matters. Make sure you pause, make sure you emphasize, make sure you are appropriate to the situation, formal or informal, and timing is important. Finish on time, start on time. When you practice at home, and if it's a 40-second question, try to finish at 35 seconds. You will see how hard that is, and you will go over. If you finish at 40 seconds, you'll definitely go over, and you wouldn't be able to match the time limit in the exam. So make sure to practice appropriately and practice lots. Writing has two sections. So there's question number 1, which is summary of a text. And then question number 2 is an email, which we'll look at. Just so you know, you can get 1 to 2 summaries or 1 to 2 emails. So it could be, again, 2 to 4 questions in total for your writing exam. The challenge here in the summary part is you have to summarize everything here between 25 and 50 words. That's very hard. If you start to do it, it's very hard. It becomes harder because the marking scheme says you cannot miss any relevant piece of information. Now, when you see that, you are like, how do I summarize? In summary, you keep out a lot of extra information. But if you miss anything that is relevant to the AI or to the test maker, you lose marks. So you have to find the best things here, the ones that you feel are most important. This will come from your judgment, and every passage is going to be different, but we'll look at some tricks here. But you want to keep the relevant information, and you want to do no more than 50 words or less than 25. Even if one word is more or less than this limit, you lose marks as a parent, very clearly mentioned from the marking scheme. So when you start to do this, the majority of the time should be spent in thinking what to do. You have 10 minutes. Think about this. You have 10 minutes to write 25 to 50 words. Nobody needs 10 minutes to do that. They're giving you this time so you can think how to summarize information, okay? So the main thing you want to do is figure out how to combine sentences. Remember that. Let's have a look. So we got this one here. It says, Bar Green University has always led the way with the quality of its courses and teaching. One reason our programs are so popular is because we understand the needs of students and society and are able to make changes when we see a way to improve our degrees. Summary is they have good quality courses, and they also can make changes whenever they need to improve their degrees. Fine. Another one says, therefore, we have decided that it is now time to update our business degree program. This third sentence is very important. It is an announcement, like we have now decided to do this. So I cannot ignore this information. I also cannot ignore a name like Bar Green University, so I gotta include them in my words. I'm gonna say this. Bar Green University is launching its new business degree program, considering its quality of courses as well as, where's this part? As well as its ability to adapt instead of make changes. Okay, so what I've done is summarized the first 3 sentences, and that is done in 1 sentence without missing key information. We took the most important piece of information from every sentence and put that all together. Then you go with the next sentence and so on. So in total, you should be able to do only 2 to 3 sentences to do less than 50 words, not more. If you do the 4th sentence, it's going to be over. Okay, that's the first task, summary. The next task, guys, is the email. So if you have done IELTS, if you've done CLB, this is pretty familiar. The only difference is the word limit, again, is very less, 100 words. The structure, though, is the same thing. You have 3 bullet points again. You're given a situation. Now, you don't have to say the subject, the address. You don't have to give the recipient address or anything like that. You also finish very simply. You just say yours sincerely and your name. The start is just going to be dear, and then Mr. If it's formal, Mr., Miss. If it's informal, it's just going to be dear, and the first name of the person you're writing the letter to. That's it. Your intro should give the purpose why you're writing the letter. Body 1 should mention bullet point 1. Body 2, mention bullet point 2. Body 3, mention bullet point 3. So that's 4 paragraphs so far, and that's the last one is going to be your conclusion. That is going to make the request. If it's, about, hey, I hope you can figure out my request and help me out. If it's informal, if it's formal, it's going to be with the hopes of a positive response from you on my given suggestions. Please let me know the next steps. If it's a request, you do that. If you just want to talk, set up a time for a meeting in future, you do all those things in the ending paragraph, which is the conclusion. So in total, you have 5 paragraphs here. Remember, it's 100 words. So mostly, you would not want to do more than 1 to 2 sentences per paragraph. Okay? Great. Now, let's move on to reading. These are the number of questions you get in the reading section. Now, one thing you would have noticed is for writing and speaking, then reading, and then listening, the time is not 100% clear. It could be 27 minutes, could be 30, could be 35, could be 38. It's 27 to 38 minutes depending on how many questions they give you. So this will always change. Now, the first, the things that they give an estimate about is the fill in the blanks question are going to be the longest, 5 to 6 question types, followed by the other fill in the blanks, which are 4 to 5 question types. Everything else is around 1 to 2. Okay, let's have a look at what this means. The fill in the blanks, the first one, it's different than the fill in the blanks you're going to get later. Here, you have a passage. You got to fill in the blanks that you see here on your screen. And these are the options. So it's fill in the blanks plus multiple choice questions. Now here, if you read this, it says, "Hi Susan, how's your search for your student accommodation going? I've started looking, but I haven't found anything useful. Haven't found anything yet. Haven't found anything so far." You know, you would think about the possible options. And then you go down, you check your gaps. The most likely answer is yet. That's the answer. You also want to eliminate the other options. You want to see the tone here and predict. That's very important. What I was doing right now was predicting what could possibly go there if I was speaking naturally. And that one of those options was the real answer. Now, the actual exam is going to be harder. It has to match the CLB standards of other exams. So this is not as easy as it looks, and the samples that are usually uploaded are easier than the real thing. So, of course, you're going to get some easy breaks, but don't expect it to be that easy. Again, next question, and so on. And this question type has 5 to 6 questions, so a lot of fill in the blanks. Then you got multiple choice questions and multiple answers, which means this is the passage on the left-hand side, and these are the options. You would have to select more than one option. So either 2 or more answers are correct. In this case, because you only have these questions, you should read the question first, then the passage. In IELTS CELPIP, it's always opposite. Read the passage, then the questions, but here it's different. You read the questions first, then the passage, because there's only a few of them, few questions. When you read them, you will recognize the keywords that you need to know to answer and to look for in the passage. When you encounter those keywords, you're going to read a little slower with more attention. When you don't encounter those keywords, you will read faster. Okay? Then you would get reorder paragraphs. Here you would have multiple paragraphs. All of them belong to the same story. But one thing is said first, then the next. So if I look at the starting sentences, that's going to be my biggest hint. You see, I'm never going to start a story by saying at the same time or however. Obviously, those are connecting sentences. But if I look at the first one, when I decided to take a holiday, this looks like a starting sentence. I will place this first. Then it says, again, when I decided to take a holiday without my friends or family, I felt a bit nervous. So what could follow that? It could be, however, I soon realized there were some great advantages. It could be negative to positive, or it could be a question, perhaps the main one was. So I would have to see the tone of each sentence and what would follow next most likely. Of course, the things that are conclusive, where the person says, okay, overall I felt this, or at the end of the journey I felt, those are going to be the conclusions. All right, so you want to reorder paragraphs here. This is a little difficult. It does take a lot of time as well. And you got fill in the blanks. So this is the second part of fill in the blanks. Here, you don't get multiple choice questions. Instead, you get blanks and you get multiple options that are given here. You have to pick one option that goes in each blank. Now, again, you want to predict. Let's check it out. It says many things can make a restaurant popular with customers. For some, getting great service, great food is important because they like feeling welcome and relaxed. Now here, again, it could be service, food. What do you like in a restaurant? Good prices, maybe. And if I check the relevant options here, service is one of them, or dishes would be one of them. So in this case, you could put both, although service looks much better, but I would put both and then keep going. If at the end I feel that nothing else matches, I would put service. But if I could put dishes somewhere else, I would put that and continue. So you can think of multiple answers, you could leave them, do the rest of it. By the end, the tone and the topics will be more clear, and you can come back and pick the final answers. But essentially, it's a matter of predicting what would go here, what you would put naturally, even if there weren't any options, and then you put the most relevant option. After that, you get multiple choice question again, but this time it's a single answer question, which means among all these options, you got to pick one only. The passage also is smaller here. Here again, you see the questions first, read the keywords in detail, look at what matches in the passage, and come back and answer. Now we'll move on to our final part, which is listening. Now in listening, you don't have many questions per set. You have 1 to 2 questions, maximum 3 in the last part, and that's also a pretty weird part that I'll show you. And there's a lot of videos here. For some reason, I feel that's very unnecessary, but there are. And the other thing is, the writing is going to be marked. You're going to be marked on grammar and spelling in your writing, because you'll be writing the answers, you'll be typing those out. So the writing, when it's marked, those marks will count towards your listening, not writing, but they are going to be marking your grammar and spelling. And by the way, there is no spell check in the entire exam, in writing as well, and in this part, which is listening, but your writing is still going to be marked here. Let me explain to you how. Now, you're going to summarize a text here. It's going to be a big text. If you listen to the transcript, it's big. The good thing is you can take notes. So you can take notes while the audio is being played. When it stops, you have 8 minutes to summarize. And you only have to write 20 to 30 words. Guys, this is even lesser than the writing limit, which was 25 to 50. So it's literally 1 to 2 sentences. And again, you want to mention the main points, make sure your grammar is okay. Vocab does not matter here. Don't worry about that. But if you use complex sentences, you can put multiple pieces of information in one sentence. So I do like to use them. But yeah, you would summarize here, find out the main points from your notes and put them in the answer. You have 8 minutes, which is a lot of time for 20 to 30 words. But again, it's because you want to look at your notes and summarize the most important points. Okay, next one is multiple choice, multiple answers. A video will be played and the questions will be in front of you. So while it's being played, look at the questions and you would have to choose more than one answer. It says multiple answers. So when it's played, you select 2 or more answers. You would look at the keywords or the paraphrased versions of them, because they are not going to in a straightforward way mention the exact answer. So look for the concepts or close concepts to it. By the way, one thing is, in videos, what they look like does not matter as much as it does in CLB. In CLB, they ask, what is this person wearing the red shirt? What did they say? Or what did Bob disagree with, apparent from his facial expressions? In PTE Core, it's not like that. So again, you could have just made an audio, but watch a video and listen. That's more important than answer. Then you get to the fill in the blanks part. Here you will hear this transcript as it is. Okay, so this should be probably the easiest part. You will hear it exactly the way it's written, and yes, it's going to be written in front of you. The audio will read or say, so earlier today we saw the Green Palace, the building used by presidents until 1878, but now of course the presidential house or home. And then you would put here presidential, because that's the one that's missing, and then you keep going. The challenges in the real exam, options might be close together, and when they speak, they might be faster. The other challenge is the words that they say may be longer, which means spelling errors. They may be advanced words that you have not heard of, which means you got to improve your vocabulary, just like for any other exam. And they may say it in a very random way. In a long sentence with multiple words, which is a fast sentence, a quick word might be thrown in, and that might be the blank that you have to answer. So it's not as easy as it looks, but from the looks of it, looks doable. Okay, pretty straightforward. Fill in the blanks, then you get multiple choice again, video again. This time you just have to pick one answer because it's a single answer. Again, listen carefully, look at the options while it's being played, look at the keywords, eliminate the incorrect options. Only one option is correct here. Your next part is going to be select missing word. Now here a video is going to be played. This is very unique for PTE Core itself. The video will have a speaker or two talking about something about, let's say they're talking about their hike, and the hike was full of adventure, it was fun, I had a lot of good scenery and pictures, and at the end I think I felt beep. Okay, now you're gonna the video is gonna end, and you will be given some options, and you have to pick which one is right. So one option might be, and at the end I felt that I was depressed. Obviously it's wrong because the tone was positive. The other option says at the end, I felt like I need to go back again and hike. No, there was no mention of that. At the end, maybe they will say, I felt relieved and just at peace. That's the correct answer. It matches the tone of what was said, and that is most likely what the speaker is going to say next, right? You want to see and observe the tone. With that tone, you want to expect or guess. It's an educated guess on what is the speaker most likely to say next. That would be your answer. So you just want to observe, listen carefully, put yourself in the speaker's shoes so you can figure out what is the missing word or phrase or multiple words that the speaker is likely to say before the audio cut off. Okay, then you get highlighting incorrect words. Here, again, you get the transcript right in front of you. The problem is, few words here, about 4 to 5, are incorrect. For example, they're going to show you the transcript, just like you can see here on your screen, and then they're going to play the audio. It's going to go, regular listeners of this show will know that I prefer watching serious films because they offer viewers the chance to understand some very interesting themes. Now, maybe interesting is the wrong word. It's written, but maybe the speaker in the audio is going to say uninteresting themes. So if you hear uninteresting and it says interesting, you're going to highlight this. The incorrect words, basically the ones that are not matching the audio, are going to be marked here. It's going to be, again, the game of being fast, following them when they're speaking, and checking sometimes the incorrect words, in this case, which would be the correct answers, would be very close together. For example, it could be 2 words next to each other. It could be this word and then this word right in the next sentence. So you want to keep your eyes, even while you're highlighting the answer that you selected, keep your eyes and ears open towards the next sentence. Again, they could just blend in the words when you're not really thinking. It could just be a little difference between cannot and can't. It could be a difference with a rhyming sentence. Instead of look, it could be took. So it could be very close combinations. Again, that shows it's not easy. All right. Going down, you go to the last part, which is, again, a little strange. You have to write a dictation, which is where you hear a sentence. You just have to type it out, whatever you hear. It's going to be a very short sentence. A sentence could be, I'm getting hungry, I better start cooking. So you will type it, I'm getting hungry, I better start cooking. Now in this case, I will put a full stop after I'm getting hungry, or at least a semicolon, because grammar is marked, okay? Your grammar, spelling, and the exact sentence is going to be checked. Don't miss words, don't add words, and you are good. Okay guys, that's it. That's the entire video. If you liked it, please like, share, and subscribe. I hope you learned a lot. If you want to check out our PTE Core course, check out the amazing reviews people are giving. Check out the 20% discount, which is for a limited time. You also get free feedback for a limited time. You get the entire description on that link, so click on it, check it out if it's right for you. Again, it's no obligation because it's backed by 100% money back guarantee. Take this course, prepare with the mock tests, which is right now the most limited resource online, but it will teach you how to do the real thing, and that's what you need to ensure a 90 score or at least more than 88 or a CLB 9. Best of luck.